This time on Rat and Cat Search and Survival, a candid conversation about when is the right time to evacuate when a wildfire is nearby. Welcome to Rat and Cat Search and Survival. I'm Nakia. Today we're going to talk about when is the right time to evacuate if there's a nearby wildfire. And if you're asking that question, likely the answer is now. We evacuated our home during the 2017 Columbia Gorge fires, and I can tell you we learned a couple of things from that. When we learned that the fire had jumped the river to the Washington side 5 miles away, we went ahead and evacuated even though we were in zone 3. And I'm really glad that we did, because even though you're just supposed to be prepared in that zone, the fire burned past our house that night on the opposite side of the gorge. On our side of the house, it somehow got stuck in a rock canyon and didn't go past that rock canyon. So if you're thinking you're safe, that it's moving slow, if a wind picks up, it can move so fast. It can move 10, 20 miles in a day. So don't mess around. Get out now if you're concerned. And I advise, just don't go for a trailer or anything like that. Just grab your family, grab your last month of bills if you have that in a file or even a stack, throw that in a box, throw it in the car, grab your family pet, your wallet, your phone, go. Titles, if you have that, but just get out of there. I'm just heartbroken to read stories of families right now who didn't do that, who've lost part of their family members trying to get some of their stuff out. And we were ahead of time, so there wasn't wind blowing and there was an extra car, and we were keeping a vigilant eye. That's the thing, is somebody's gone, whoever's at home needs to be keeping a very vigilant eye just constantly about where that fire's at. And don't wait for them to tell you to leave your house. Nobody's going to come knock on your door. These fast fires are moving so fast, and there's so many of them. When there's a firestorm around here on the West Coast, where the wind picks up, basically any time in the fall, this is going to happen. The climate's getting warmer and warmer, and we just are experiencing more of this all the time. I remember even 20 years ago, driving 30 miles away from Sandpoint to where we lived at the time, and driving through 3 forest fires. And things are even worse now. These fires pick up. There's a spark from the power lines. People driving down the roads. There's a few arsons here and there that take advantage of it. There's all sorts of reasons these fires happen. The power company, sometimes is responsible, as we found out one time. Various reasons, campfires, people setting off pyrotechnics, and these things just happen all over. Any little spark is going to take off and start a forest fire, and then it's going to jump. I was just really struck with how little information we got, and even in the forest fires that are around us right now, there's very little information about it. The emergency services since 9/11 have a chain of command that goes from all the way from the volunteers to local police to the regional managers and all the way up to the federal government. And it works pretty good for reacting to it, except for the PR side of it is not very good at all. And a lot of these sheriff's departments I've seen don't offer any information. Some of them do, and the last county I lived in actually were pretty good. But at first it was really difficult to get information, and I'm sure you've noticed this already. Do not wait for somebody to knock on your door. Take a family vacation. Go to someplace where it is wet and there's lakes and there's not a lot of fires. You can look on the map and on a fire map and see where there's not a lot of fires right now. Go 100, 200 miles away. Take a vacation. You'll be glad you did. It's not worth taking the risk sticking around. It's also not worth camping right now. Ordinarily, during the dry summer months, I say, make sure that you have 2 exits, the road either way, or a trail, or where you can get in water. That's still good advice, but during these really dry times, especially when there's firestorms going all over the West Coast here, it's not even worth going out. It's just dumb. And just wait till it rains, and then you can go do more of your outdoor activities. I'm just heartbroken to read these stories about this family in Washington that went out to visit their property in a remote area, and lost their baby trying to get out. When they got out to the Columbia River Gorge, they were severely burned, and they'd lost their 1-year-old. And this family, that dad went to get his trailer and came back at 4 in the morning, but it was too late. The fire had overtaken his home, their car, and so the wife was walking out with the child but lost the child, and the child and dog went back to the car, and they found them later burned, and the mother had a broken leg and there was no way to walk out, and so she was also burned, and the wife was severely burned on the way out. The horrors of the situation that's going on right now are really terrible. I've seen a lot of websites that have a fairly lengthy list of things that you should take with you, but for us, most of those things weren't relevant and will take you a lot of time. They're really good to do if there aren't wildfires going on around you. But right now, if there's fires going on around you, don't worry about those long lists. Get those essentials that I already talked about and shut off this video right now and get out. For those of you that aren't in a life and death situation right now, you may have noticed that this is a little bit different, and that's because I'm not shooting with a prompter. A prompter really helps me to keep organized with my thoughts, and mine broke about a month ago, and I ordered a new one, and the wrong one came, and then I sent it back, and I paid for overnight delivery, and that hasn't happened. As you notice, the mail has slowed down a lot. Anyhow, I have been doing things a little bit differently, or not doing anything at all, except for I am working on an episode reviewing a bivy sack / sleeping bag, emergency sleeping bag that I shot late winter, early spring, and I haven't edited it because it's extra long and has a lot of scenic footage. That's what I'm working on right now. Yeah, so you'll see that coming up shortly. In the meantime, I hope that you're safe, and I look forward to reading your comments below and your advice, and I look forward to seeing you next time here on Rat and Cat.